Alright, welcome back to part 8, round 7 of our second unfair two-person game. Things are getting really exciting here. This is the card game equivalent of nail-biting suspense. Both players have been working really hard. You can see both of them are doing fairly well for each other. Of course, player 2 is obviously having some issues. He's having to really nickel and dime his blueprints and try to squeeze the most value out of them. He's already had to take out 2 loans. So my money right now is going to be on, ironically, the player with the money. But we're going to find out how this actually goes down. So it is, of course, now player 1's turn to be the starting player. And we already know what he's going to do. It's going to be time for him to draw an event card, followed shortly after by player 2. Then the dreaded red city event card gets flipped over. A change of plans. You can be blocked by the blue injunction. From the park cards in your hand, choose one to keep and discard all of the others. Alright, so starting with the starting player, we need to take a look at his... He only has 1. So therefore, he can choose to keep this, and he isn't hurt at all. This player over here, player 2, though, has just 1 park card. Alright, so since both of them only have 1 park card, luckily they were not affected. This could have been much worse. But thankfully they were under their hand limits already, and they were mostly composed of event cards. That's a surprisingly it's rare that red cards don't affect anybody. Now in the event play, it's time for our starting player to play 1 or more of his event cards. He's going to go ahead and take a look at what he has. He can build an upgrade from his hand immediately for free. He has one here, but remember, he's saving his flagpole for when he gets that final upgrade onto his still ride. Or he could go ahead and rearrange some components, or get more points. Let's see how many stars he already has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He already has maxed out, so he isn't going to need to use this top part. But he could rearrange some upgrades. Does he need to do that? No. So he's going to go ahead and pass, remarkably. And now it is this player's turn. He's going to go ahead and use his power first. He has to go ahead and take one of these from the market, add it to his hand, and then build as many as he wants under 1 attraction. Alright, so obviously he still needs to replace that guest services thing that he just lost from his mega factory. So he's going to go ahead and take this guest services. Actually, he's going to go ahead and take this one. Oh, that's a tough choice. Which one is? I think he's going to do this because he can then draw a park card or an event card. So he's going to go ahead and take this, add it to his hand. Of course, it needs to be replaced. Then he's going to go ahead and pay the 7 coin. 5. You're going to get some change back in order to build this information kiosk, which is a guest services upgrade, onto his throw ride. But it says after you build this, you may draw a park card or an event card. Obviously, he's going to want to draw an event card. So I'm going to go ahead and add that underneath real quick. Nice. Alright, he's going to go ahead and draw an event card. And he's just used his event step. Back to this player who passes. Back to player 2. Now he has a lot of options to choose from. So we're going to just start with this card here. Reveal the top card of the park deck. Build it in your park immediately for free, if possible. Otherwise, put it in your hand. That's a no harm, no foul card. Because if you can't play it, you just keep it. Here it is, an upgrade guest services. That's what he just got. That's super cool, though, because he could definitely use this on this attraction right here. So he's going to build that onto the sideshow, and he can then draw another event card. I'm going to do that. Very nice. And now he can draw this event card. Alright, back to player 1, who passes. Back to player 2. He's going to go ahead and look at what he just got. He can close an attraction in any park, or gain 5 coin. He's going to do some big spending. So even though he'd like to hurt his opponent, he's going to go ahead and get 5 coin. Player 1 passes, back to player 2. Player 2 is going to look at this one. He can gain an extra coin for each guest visiting his park. He feels good this turn, especially because player 1 is passing all the time, which means he probably won't do anything bad to him. So he's going to go ahead and pin this right here, so he'll get some extra money during the guest step. Now, player 1 passes, back to player 2. Player 2 has some options here. He could choose to discard a blueprint he owns and draw 3 new blueprints from the pile. But it's kind of late in the game to do that. He's going to hang on to what he has, I think. But he could also choose a staff member in his opponent's park to dismiss unless his opponent pays 20 coins or a giant wad of cash. He's going to do that because that worked pretty well. It got blocked last time, but maybe player 1 isn't so lucky this turn. Player 1 desperately looks at his event cards to see if he has a giant wad of cash. He doesn't. So he's going to have to either pay 20 coin or risk losing one of his employees. And the person that's being targeted is this person because he's going to have a lot of cash at the end. Right now, he has 5, 10, 15, 20 on him, but he's going to have 25 at the end of the game, plus he's going to be worth some victory points. So player 1 considers it worth it to go ahead and pay the 20 coin to block that action. Now, of course, if the player 2 was smart enough, he probably would have gone ahead and taken away this player, this person, because this cast member isn't necessarily worth 20 coins. It's a little bit harder calculation, but there we go. This player had to take a significant financial hit to keep his staff member, but that's the end goal. Player 2 just wanted to hurt his opponent in some way. Alright, player 1 passes again, back to player 2. Player 2 can build upgrades for half price if he closes an attraction this round. Well, he knows that he's going to be building some upgrades on his seafood, and it only gives him 1 star anyway. So he's going to go ahead and pin that as well, right there, and close his seafood restaurant just for the round, so he can get that extra thing. Player 1 passes, back to player 2. Player 2 is going to go ahead and choose up to 3 upgrades in his park and move them around to any number of suitable attractions in his park. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Player 2 is dealing with a bunch of blueprints, and he has some very specific requirements to meet. He needs to make sure that each of his attractions, first of all, has 4 icons. So he needs to remove this pirate theme icon from the monorail because he still needs these 2 superior quality upgrades on the monorail to meet another requirement. He needs to shift that pirate theme upgrade to someplace else, which probably would be best going here because this place already has 4 icons, and this place is going to need to lose an icon as well. Now, of course, unfortunately, he can't actually move the Sea Serpent Roll or the Incline Loop anywhere else because he doesn't have any other theme rides in his park. So that'll be about the extent of what he can do. But he gets to basically shift the pirate theme to here for free, which would give this 2 icons, and it only needs 2 more icons more to meet that 4 icon requirement for the blueprint. So that's what he's going to do right now. And there we have it. The pirate theme has been shifted over. That was his action card. Player 1 passes again. Player 2 has no more action cards to play. So now it is time for the park step 1. The starting player, player 1, needs to go ahead and decide what he's going to do. And he really needs that 3rd upgrade here because time is ticking fast. Remember, what he needs is he needs a Sea Serpent Roll. And unfortunately, there's only an inclined loop in the deck right now. So he's got to decide what to do. He has this flagpole just waiting to be built, but I'm not sure that he can wait much longer. He needs to act swiftly. So what is he going to do? Well, he's already at 15 stars, so he could go ahead and add some things that don't give him extra stars, but give him extra checkmark icons. So I think that's probably what he's going to do. He's going to go ahead and spend 4 and get 1 coin and change and build lockers and coat check upgrade to an attraction that already is pretty decent sized. He's probably going to add it onto this one because it's already tall and it's going to get taller. That's a pretty good deal to spend 4 coin and go from 3 icons to 4 icons. That's definitely worth the investment. Sometimes you have to do the math though to make sure that that's true. Alright, now that starting player has gone, it is time for player 2 to make his move. Now of course, he needs 2 more icons on this attraction. But he also has a blueprint saying he needs attractions with 1 icon, 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, and 4 stars. This has 4 icons, but only 1 star. This now has 2 icons and 2 stars, so that he doesn't want to add any more stars to that one. This one has the 4 stars and 4 icons, so he doesn't want to add any more, but he needs an attraction with 3 stars and 4 icons. The problem is he would have to build a brand new attraction. So while he's looking for a brand new attraction, which is gonna pull in tight, he might as well just make this the one that has 4 icons and 3 stars. So he's going to need to go ahead and add an upgrade with 1 star and 1 icon, and an upgrade with a icon but no star. So what he could do is he could certainly probably add. Now of course this is just the food outlet. So he could build from his hand the air conditioning for 5, and then later, on a later turn, he could probably add the flagpole, which would add an extra icon, but not an extra star. So that would keep it at 3 stars. That's probably what he's going to do. So he's going to go ahead and pay the 5 right now to put the air conditioning onto that food outlet. And there we have it. So now it is going to be park step 2, back to this player. And of course, as I mentioned, still no luck. He sees a corkscrew element, but not a sea serpent roll. He's getting a bit desperate here, and so he's probably going to go ahead and have to make a tough decision. Is he going to go ahead and discard this for a chance to look through that deck? No. He's going to take his chances on the last round remaining. He's going to draw 2 event cards and see what he can get. Alright. He could get extra stars. He doesn't really need those, or he can keep all the cards he draws or make his... yeah, he's going to probably do that because that's going to be powerful next turn. He's going to go ahead and do that and discard that. Back to this player. He's still going to need that flagpole, and thankfully it's still there waiting for him. That's going to cost 8 coin, which he's coming in tight here, folks, but I think he can do it. He's going to go ahead and build that from the marketplace right onto his attraction there, and you don't need to tuck it underneath, it just overlaps. So that's good, and we need to refill the market for that empty space right there. Alright, so that means that that's the end of Park Step 2, and Park Step 3 begins. And now, Player 1's getting really concerned, because he can't build his final flagpole on top of this attraction until he has that Sea Serpent roll. And he can't build the Sea Serpent roll if he can't find it anywhere. So he's really going to need to be able to search the park discard pile. And he believes that the Sea Serpent roll is probably the only Sea Serpent roll available, might be the one that his opponent has. So he needs to go ahead and see if there's anything that he can do in these that let him move things around. Not really. So he's going to go ahead and try his hand at the event cards. Now, of course, he needs to draw 2 and keep 1, but there's only 1 left, so we need to reshuffle that deck before we do anything else. This will be one of the ones he draws. Let me reshuffle that deck. Alright, so I've reshuffled the event deck. We'll go ahead and have player 1 draw another card. Compare these 2 cards he's drawn. This lets him do more rearranging, but he already has one in his hand. This lets him build a card, choose a card from the market, and put his hand. He's going to go ahead and do that. So he's well equipped for next and final round. And he's going to go ahead and discard that card. Alright, back to player 2. Now, player 2 really needs to make some decisions here. He needs to build a 4th attraction in order to meet that last requirement on his blueprint. But he's really hurting because he doesn't have one to find. So he's going to have to make a tough decision. I think since he doesn't have any more park cards in his hand, he's just going to have to go ahead and draw some event cards here. Let's see what he's got. He could build an upgrade for free. Well, he doesn't have anything in his hand, so that's not going to help next round. And this one lets him make his competitors' staff members unavailable. That's been useful in the past. He's going to do that. Keep that. Discard that. That's the end of Park Step 3, and Park Step 4 is not activated because nobody had that extra step. However, we did forget one critical thing. Player 2 was only supposed to be able to pay half price for upgrades that he built on this attraction this turn because it was closed. He paid, let's see here, he paid 5 coin for that, and he paid 8 coin for this. 5 plus 8 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 coin. So he would have only actually paid 6, so he deserves 7 back. Yeah. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so he actually saved some money. Alright, so now, of course, we come to the guest step, where the starting player needs to go ahead and add up his coins. He's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, which is exactly his park limit capacity. So all 15 of those coins come to him. Then he gets double the star value of one of his open ride attractions. His open ride attraction is currently worth 6, so he gets 10, 11, 12. He gets 5 coin to put onto this staff member right there, and he gets an extra coin for having this sideshow open. That's a lot of money right there. Alright, player 2 can't count any of the stars here, but he can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stars, which is within his limit. So he can also get 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now he also gets 1 extra coin for each guest visiting his park. So he gets an extra 10, 11, 12, 13 at the end of this round. That's pretty powerful. Alright, so now we move to the cleanup phase, where we're going to have to go ahead and discard these pinned event cards. Player 1 didn't have any pinned event cards. We're also going to need to go ahead and flip over any cards that were closed this round, which in this case was the food outlet. And then we, of course, need to also make sure that we clear and refill the market. Alright, nice. We refilled the market. Now we need to check for hand limits. This player has 1 park card and 4 event cards. Player 1 was smart to stay underneath his hand limit, so he's fine. And player 2 only has 1 event card, so he's also within his limit. Now, of course, we need to go ahead and pass the starting player token back to player 2. Player 2 moves the marker back to the beginning of the round ticket track, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of part 8, round 7, because we're going to be going into part 9, round 8, the very last round of the game, in the next video. I hope to see you there.